Hi guys, welcome to this class on text determination. We have seen pricing, in which we used condition technique for determination, and like I said, there are many concepts in SD that use determination and condition technique to some extent or the other. Text determination and partner determination use condition technique to a very minimal extent, but nevertheless, if you have an understanding of condition technique, understanding text determination and partner determination from a configuration perspective is very easy. However, what I want you guys to focus on is more on the concept itself. Meaning, what are texts? Why are texts used? Where are they stored? Think of scenarios how you can use these texts. And same thing when we discuss partner determination in another class. So let's get started with text determination. And what are texts? So texts are little bits of information. For example, this text could be called sales notes from customer. Notes from customer. For example, a customer says, for this order, deliver it to me on a Saturday. That could be a delivery note. A delivery note from customer. And that is very ad hoc, meaning it's specific only for that transaction. Now there are some notes that are always common for that customer. Let's say there is a customer that always insists that his deliveries be made on a Thursday or a Monday or a Friday, maybe because he only goes to his warehouse once in a while. So that is a pretty consistent chunk of data that always applies to that customer. It's not just for a particular transaction. So texts are like little post-it notes. Little post-it notes, green, blue, yellow colors that you get from 3M. Consider texts more or less like that. They can be attached to sales orders. They can be attached to customers. They can be attached to materials. And we'll get to the best part where they can be transferred from one object to another. We'll see that example in detail in a minute. Alright, so why are texts used? So we know that texts are like little post-it notes where you can just put in some text. But what is the use of it? Well, texts are flexible. You can use it the way you like it. Meaning, you want to just store some information? Sure, store it. You want to dynamically determine texts based on certain conditions? Yes, you can do it. For example, if the customer in the previous example said that he wants that order to be delivered on a Thursday, right? Now, this could be achieved using different means. That functionality, say, could be achieved using what is called as scheduling. Delivery scheduling, transportation scheduling, so on and so forth. So texts might not be really an ideal place for that. So why then are texts used? Now, it's not always the case that this piece of functionality is required by every customer. This is only specific to one customer or a certain group of customers. So you don't really have to build out a huge functionality just for that customer. You can just use texts. For example, here is our customer. Let's associate a little piece of text to it that says deliver this by this date, or some other piece of info, say this is a gold customer, always treat him properly, or make sure that his deliveries are properly packed, his shipments go out on time. It's okay if other customers are delayed a little bit. You never know, he's a priority customer, let's say. And now that is something that you cannot configure, isn't it? It's a thing that requires some human judgment. Now, when you create an order ZOR for this customer, here are our line items, and here is the header. At the header, we want this information somewhere to be stored so that the person creating the order understands that this customer is important, or when this order is delivered, the person doing this delivery in the warehouse should also understand that this customer is important, so ship his deliveries out first. Right? So this piece of text, whatever is written here, let's say the piece of text that is written here is gold customer, not guard, gold customer, or priority customer, whatever you want to call it. And that text can be made to flow down here, and this text can be made to flow down here, or you could add some other text here and you could make both these texts together flow down here to the delivery. Right? So these are again like little post-it notes that can be transferred from master data to transactions. In the case where customer text is transferred to the order, or you can have these little pieces of data transferred from one transaction to another. In this case, ZOR to LF, and you could do it as well to F2, no problem. Okay. Now, how do texts flow? Well, we now understand that texts can flow from master data to transactions and from one transaction to another. But how do they flow? They flow using a very simple method of defining an access sequence. Now we'll look at this access sequence in detail, because it's a little technical in nature and involves delving deep into the configuration. But just understand that the texts flow from one object to another. The objects could be master data or transaction data, and they flow from one object to other using access sequence, where we define the priorities, and if one fails it falls down to the next, and then so on and so forth. So how do texts flow? Via text determination procedure, which contains access sequence, where the sources are specified in a particular order, and SAP goes searches in that order and picks up the first available, just like you have pricing's access sequence. Right? So here is an example of or rather a generic visual representation of a sample text flow. Now, any text available at the master data level can be made to flow down to the transaction header, be it a quotation, be it an order. Let's say this is an order. Now, at the line item level, you can have text at master data level flow down to line items. This line item is M01. If you have a text tagged on to M01 material, that material will come and flow down to this line item. Similarly, you can have texts at the pricing condition records level. If you go to VK11, when you create a condition record, you can create texts as well. Right? If you can have a text here, and whenever pricing is determined for that line item using this condition record, that text can be made to flow down here. Same with customer material info records, CMAR. You could have texts here that could be made to flow down if that material was determined using a CMIR. Similarly, you could have custom text objects. These are defined in a transaction called SO. This is O, by the way, okay? 10. SO10. These are called standard text. You could define any ad hoc piece of text without referring it to any material master, customer master, or any other type of data, a standalone text object, and that can be made to flow down either at the header or at the line item level. These are all your possible sources. The next most important possible source is another transaction itself. Text to an order header can be made to flow down from a previous transaction. Same thing at the line item level. Texts here can flow down from the previous transaction. Right? Now we'll see some examples of texts first, and then we'll go on to the configuration, define those texts, and then make them flow using the determination procedures. But before we go there, let's first look at customer master. We know our customer, VD01, VD02, VD03. I think I might have logged off. Okay, let's take a customer, say 23897. Look at sales org, click OK. There are three different types of texts associated with a customer master. The first is the general texts that, as you might have guessed, is available in the general data section. So go to extras and then click on texts. There you go. These are all your different texts. You have sales note for customer, accounting note, marketing note, blah blah blah. Now if you were in change mode, you could go and add texts to it. So let's go and add a text. Okay, we are in change mode now. Now here is an accounting note. Gold customer, always require both invoices and invoice list, blah blah blah. I want to type something more. It's not possible. What do I do now? I double click, and then SAP lets you do something more, put some more text in it, like infinite amount of text, both invoices and invoice lists, and whatever text you want, and then you can save it. Okay, go back, and you know that there are multiple lines for a particular text if you look at this little flag over here. Alright, similarly you can define n number of texts here. You can have any text you like. Okay, potential reasoning, bank memos, address note for example, PO box only, call customer for actual address, whatever. Right? And the other type of text in the customer master is sales text, and that you can find by going to the sales area data and then clicking on extras, texts. again we have a different set of text. These are not the same as the previous ones. Alright, so these are the two most important classifications of texts in the customer master. General text is one, which is available in the general data section. And sales text is two, which is available in the sales area data. Okay, and the way to go that is to go to the respective views and then clicking on extras, texts, and here is how you create text against a particular text type. So these are called text types. Each one is called a text type, and against each text type you can define your own text. This is like free form text. You can have anything you like. If you want more than one line, you just double click it, it'll open an editor, and then you can save it, come back, and it'll show a different flag here, and the M stands for multiple. So there is more than one line, just to indicate that there is more than what you see over there. And similarly, at the material master level, there are texts. There is sales text, there is purchase text. You can go and look at the sales text by, let me say this customer, and then we'll go to the customer material master. Alright, MM02, open some material you like, any material that you have created, click on sales text, purchase order text, click OK, and then this is sales text. This material, for example, is a bioreagent, and it's temperature sensitive, blah blah blah, some storage conditions, whatever notes that you want to have that for that material, you can just put it in there. If you want to export this text, you can import this text. You can maintain the text in different languages, you can delete this text, so on and so forth. Now similar to sales text, there is a purchasing text as well, and again same thing, you can maintain it in different languages, you can import that text from a text file, you can export it into a text file. So we have seen texts at the customer master level, and the second thing is the material master level texts. Okay, now one of the differences between the customer master level texts and material master level texts is at the customer master level there can be more than one text type, like accounting note, sales note, purchasing note, auditing note. But with the material master there is only one type of text for sales and one type for purchases. Alright, that's material master text. As you can see, the sales text is here, the purchase text is here. Now how to create these texts? Say for example, you look at this customer master, let's say /n vd02, alright, 23897, the customer account group is 001. For this customer, if you want to create additional text like sales note, shipping instructions, etc., etc., and then you want to have another guy here, let's say call it auditing note. How do you create it? Well, first thing, you don't want to change 0001 account group, right, or any of its properties. So you create your own customer account group, and you know how to do that. Let's go how to create our own or use another customer account group, say Z001 or Z something else, ZSIV, anything you like, and then we'll configure our own different text types and associate that with that customer account group. Okay, here is our goal. Once again, we want to create a new text type. How do you do that? You go to SPRO as usual, IMG, sales and distribution, basic functions, and text control. Right, this is the menu path. If you are not fond of the menu path, there is a short and sweet transaction, VOTXN. Okay, don't forget the N, VOTXN, and then hit enter. Same thing shown in a different way. Okay, now here are our central texts, and then click on text types. Table is cross client, that's all right. And here are our text types. So many different text types. You want to create your own text types? Yes, go to new entry and create your own. Z blah blah blah, custom auditing note, Z000. Okay, and then click save. Of course, you want to create a transport, and we have our auditing note here. Okay, so let me quickly save it. So you know how to go there, right? Or you can use this transaction VOTXN and then go to central text. If you want to create new text types, click on this new text types. Okay, and click on new entries, and you can create your text types. This is sales, this is general text, this is sales text. And here is how you create these texts. So go select your text type, click on text types, and then go to new, enter your text type and a description. Okay, in this case we are entering something called as Z005, which is customer special instructions, or you could have Z000, anything you like, doesn't matter. Right, now the next thing to do is create a text procedure. Right, we have added our own text note, little text note here called Z000 or Z005. The next thing to do is click on change. Alright, and then we have 01, our text determination procedure. Copy it and create your own, a Z0 custom, because we don't want to overwrite the existing text determination procedure. Right, that's not standard practice, we know. And as usual, click on copy all. Alright, so we have our own brand new text determination procedure. Alright, so what's underneath it? So select it and then click on text IDs in procedures. Double click. These are our text notes. We want to introduce our new procedure, right? So click on new entries and then say what were the entries prior to this? 100. Okay, new entries 110 and Z000, and then 120, Z005, so on and so forth. Whatever text types you have created, just go and enter them, save them. And Z0 is the new text procedure that you have created. Now you want to assign this text procedure to our customer account group. Let's say custom sold to party or custom build to party, whatever you want to associate it to. Let's say we want to associate our custom procedure to let's pick up a new Z customer, Z001. I think this is one that we have created, Z005 I believe. Right, so go ahead and change this to Z2 or Z0, which is our custom text determination procedure that we have just created. Alright, enter and save. So whenever you create a customer of type Z005 account group, the text determination procedure is Z0. Right. So here is a pictorial representation of what we have done here. All right. I'll just put it down on paper once again. Step number 1. Okay. Create new text type. Or let me actually go to the actual steps and then show you how to do it. Okay. This is what you need to do when you want to do it for a customer. When you want to do it for a sales order, it's a little bit different. Okay. Here is step number 1. Create new text type. Whether you want to do it for central text or sales text, it's up to you. Okay. This is step number 1. Step number 2. Select and then click on the procedure and then copy to create your own text determination procedure. In this case Z5, Z0, whatever. And then always make sure you click on copy all. Okay. Step number 3. Double click on text IDs. Alright, double click there and then go to new and add your own text determination procedure. Click new and add your own text type. Okay, created in step number 1. This is sorry. Created in step 1. Okay, this is step number 3. Step number 4 is the assignment. Assign the text determination procedure Z5, Z0, whatever you have created, to your own customer account group. In this case Z005, Z0, whatever your customer account group is. Again, once again, don't assign it to 001. It doesn't make any sense. Okay, you don't want to do it in a live system. You don't want to do it in an IDA system as well. Okay, that is that. And now how do we test it? How do we test it? It's very simple. You create a customer of that customer account group. What did we assign it to? Z005. So create a customer of customer account group Z005. VD01 of type Z005 and then enter your customer number 33544. Okay, it uses internal number, that's fine. So enter some test. Just finishing up the address, then go to extras, texts, and then we have customer special instructions, we have auditing note. So you can have a special auditing note here. Auditing note could be make sure it is double, make sure goods are double packed. Okay, and then save this guy, and then whatever other information that you have to fill in. Okay, whatever is mandatory, just fill it up. Alright, save. Okay, the customer number is 5. Customer number 5 was created in sales area 101000. Okay, now go to VD03 and then enter that customer, and you can see that extra little piece of text. You go to general data, extras, texts, and then you have that special text over there. Okay, that just shows you how to create your own custom text using a custom text type. In this case, we have created Z000, called it an auditing note, and we have created our own customer account group Z005 and assigned our text determination procedure Z0 to this account group, so that whenever we create a customer of this customer account group, this particular text determination procedure applies. Very simple, isn't it? And what's inside the text determination procedure? It contains a list of text types along with a sequence in which they should be acted upon. Okay, first is this, next is this, next is this. This is how they should be shown, and that's what you're just aligning and associating with that text determination procedure. So text determination in the case of master data like customer master is very simple. It's as simple as it can get. Okay, so try this thing first. Don't jump to transaction level text determination. It's very similar to this, except that when determining your text ID, there is another thing called as a access sequence. So try this thing first, and then we'll move on to the text determination at transaction level. Okay, transaction level text. This is the next level. So from the customer master or from a previous transaction, we want certain pieces of text maybe to fold onto the header or to the line item level. So we're going to see how to achieve this. Okay, in order to understand this, we have to understand something called as a text object. If you go to the SAP screen, and if you go to VOTXN, which is our text determination config transaction, pick any text type and then click on text types, you'll see that there is a text object here. There are so many different text objects. This is general text, KNA1. If you go to sales distribution, you'll see that there is something called KNVV. This is called sales text. If you go to let's say customer sales document header, you'll have something called as VBBK. This is text object that contains the different text types. So the hierarchy is something like this. Let me go down to another slide where I have defined the different kinds of text objects. I have skipped it on purpose so that you would understand the basics first, and then we can understand these technical objects. This is customer master general text. This is sales texts. Under each of these there will be n number of texts. Under each of these again n number of text types. These are text types. These are text objects. So text objects has multiple text types, and that's what we have kind of done in the text determination procedure of customer master. Now same thing with the sales document. Text types, text object, text object. So these are the most used text objects. No, you don't need to remember these text objects. They are not at all necessary. But when you come to access sequence at the transaction level, you might want to just make a note of them so that you understand what is the priority and what are the sources that you are dealing with. Don't worry, you will see an example and it will be pretty obvious. Okay, transaction level text. Now look at the sales order header. Let's say into the header we want the custom document transaction type to flow through. So we have defined, here is our scenario that we are trying to solve. For the customer, we have created a new text type Z000 called auditing note, and we have assigned all of this stuff to the customer account group Z005. We have created a customer number 5 just now. When we create a sales transaction, say VA01 of a particular type, let's say ZOR5, using this customer, at the header level there are different texts, and at the line item level there are different texts. We want this auditing note, whatever text has been written there, to flow down to one of the texts at the order header level. And how do we achieve this? Now, to achieve this, we got to define a text type here, or you can let it flow down to an existing text type, but we would rather define our own text type so that we know how to create a text type at the sales document level also. Let's call this, it need not have the same name, it could have a different name, Z005 or Z009. Alright, so we're going to have this text flow down to Z009. Now first let's create the text type. New text, Z009, custom audit note from customer. Okay, save. Okay, go back. Next step, go to header, click on change. This is the standard determination procedure, text determination procedure. Copy it, create your own. Z0. Enter, click on copy all. Okay, and then select it, double click on text IDs. Then we have so many different text IDs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so on and so forth until 16. Let's introduce a new entry, call it 20, and the text ID is going to be Z009, and hit enter. Click on save and go back to see your result. Step number 20, Z009 is the text ID. Okay, now we have created a new text ID for the sales order header, created our own text determination procedure, and the next step should be to assign this text determination procedure to our own custom document type. Let's say ZOR5. Alright, Z0. Okay, save it, go back and try to create an order. ZOR5, because that's the one that we have modified. Hit enter, and then use our customer that we have created, customer number 5. Alright, we have created an order, ZOR5, and then use the customer 5. Now let's go to texts. How do we see the text at the transaction level? Select header, go to texts, and then you can see that there is a new text type called the custom audit note that we have just created, and it's supposed to contain the text audit note from the customer master 5, but you don't see anything here, right? Double click, you don't see anything here. This is the place where it's supposed to come up, this blank space, but I don't see anything there. So quite similar to the way you do pricing analysis, there is a button here called the analysis button, okay, or the log button. So click on the log, and then it will show you the log of why or how things are determined the way they are. Now for all of them, there is a place to expand and then drill down and then do an analysis. For Z009, however, there is no drill down here. So what kind of analysis can we do? We can't really do anything. But why? Because an access sequence does not exist. Now what is this access sequence? Well, let's go to the same old transaction, same old sales order header, go to change mode, and then go to Z5, and then go to look at the text IDs, and then see that for our sorry, I think it was Z9, right, or Z0. This does not have an access sequence. What it means is that we have defined a text type, but we did not tell the source that it should fetch it from. And that source could be a customer master's text. If yes, what text type should it be? It should be 001, 002, 003. Or should it be text from a previous transaction? We have not defined that. And that is defined in an access sequence. So let's go to an access sequence and define our own access sequence. Let's say new entries. And then say 1000. Access sequence. Select, click on accesses. Now here is the toughest part. Okay, this is where you could get lost. So go to new entries, select a sequence 10, 20, 30, 40, and here is where the text object comes into place. So go to text object, and there are a limited set of text objects. So what is the source of this data at the header level? Now where do you want to pull it from? You don't want to pull it from material text or purchasing text, but you want to pull it from customer master general texts, right? So where is that? KNA1. That is the object type, and under that object, which ID should it be? It should be Z00 auditing node that we have just created, right? Okay, so far so good. And which partner function should it be, and should it be for all languages? This is very important. So should it be for sold to, bill to? It need not always be the same sold to or bill to. You could pull it from bill to, you could pull it from ship to, or you could pull it from any other alternate partner function, right? And then there are all these different, there are routines, requirement routines, should they be fulfilled or not, but let's not go there at this point. Alright, so the important things here that you need to fill in are the text object, the text ID, the partner function, and if necessary, languages. Okay, now it need not always be from the customer. What if the customer doesn't have it? What if the quotation has it? Then maybe it's not just customer, it's the sales document, the previous sales document header text. And where should it need to come from? Maybe it needs to come from form header or someplace. Okay, again, sold to party, all languages. AG for MVKE. Okay. I did delete that. Change will be lost. Yes, that's right. Okay, and then click save. So it just says that language doesn't exist for a customer, sorry, sales document header, which is fine. Okay, now 1000 is the access sequence that we have created, and go to text procedure, go to our custom text procedure, and enter 1000 here. This is our access sequence. Okay, now save it, go back all the way and try to create an order again for this customer, and enter your customer number 5, ZOR5 order type. Go to header, click on text, and you see that this thing is filled in, because you see that this little pencil and notepad has some scribble lines on it, and if you double click it, you'll see some stuff here, the same text that was available in the customer master. Okay, if you go to the log, you can see the log of how the system has obtained these texts. Alright, so those steps are highlighted here. If you can just go through these notes, and the screenshots are all available. Okay, now here is an exercise that I want to give you. What I want you to configure is define your own customer account group, new customer account group, call it ZXXX, whatever you want to define. Okay, create a new text type called ZXXX and assign it to this customer. How do you do it? You assign a new text determination procedure, assign it to this customer account group, and this text type should be part of this text determination procedure. As simple as that. Now, third step, create new customer of that customer account group. Call it 5, 10, 15, 20, 1000, whatever customer number. Fourth step is create a new text type at sales doc header level. Call it ZYYY. Associate ZYYY to sales order header of a document ZOR5 or whatever your document type is. Okay. Step number 6 is source the text of ZOR5 ZYYY from customer master ZYY. So you have to define your access sequence in such a way that this text ZYYY at the header level is sourced from the corresponding customer masters ZXXX. And step number 7, if ZXXX is not present in customer master, then source it from previous transaction. This is the extra step that I'm giving you. Source it from ZYYY of previous transaction, meaning if the customer has ZXXX, source it to the sales order ZYYY. If it doesn't have it, maybe this is an order that was created from a quotation, and that quotation had ZYYY. If this is not available, then source it from this. It's like a fallback option. Right? This is the extra step that I want you to do. Alright, thank you very much, guys.